Water, Airsoft's greatest enemy. Of all the things in the world, nothing possesses such a threat to an airsofter like water does. Hey bro, nice AEG. Sure would be a shame if I splashed this refreshing glass of H2O right around where the circuitry is. Oh, hey, looks like it's gonna be a great day to go out and play some airsoft with the boys. Has anyone seen the weather forecast?
It's gonna rain!
Clearly, water is the enemy, which is why it makes perfect sense in this video to pit airsoft against water guns. Can airsoft survive, or will water guns wash away the competition? As expected, I made a list of topics for this one. Let's go. Cost, ammo, rules, accuracy, cleanliness, and of course, we're gonna end this video with a 1v1 showdown.
Make sure you eat it all, because I'm watching you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Papa, can we go trampoline?
You haven't finished your nuggets yet, sweetie. Okay, there's a lot of children starving in America, right? I mean, take a look at her. She's American, huh? Really skinny. You want to look like that?
No.
Then eat your nuggets!
I think we can all agree that you cannot buy an airsoft gun at the dollar store. Meanwhile, there's usually an entire aisle dedicated to water guns, water balloons, and other water-carrying contraptions capable of dispensing water. Typically, water guns can cost you around $5 to about $100. This depends on the quality of the water guns, of course, as well as its ammo capacity. The higher end super soakers could be around $50, capable of doing some serious soaking. Airsoft guns, being much more complicated, can cost hundreds of dollars. Unfortunately, this will certainly thin out Airsoft's ranks, causing the amount of water guns to outnumber Airsoft guns in a fight. The cost on gear is also reflected in the same way. Tactical gear for an airsofter may vary, costing about $100 to hundreds of dollars. Meanwhile, the only thing you need at a water fight is your brightest pair of swimming shorts. Maybe some goggles too if you have sensitive eyes. And maybe a wetsuit, if you're one of those kids.
So that's how he wants it to go down.
You missed me!
Water is infinite. Well, I mean, not really. Water is free. Well, actually, not technically. You see, if I need ammo for my airsoft gun, I gotta drive to the airsoft store or order some BBs online, which does take time and money. I'll spend $50 and let's say get thousands of BBs. Meanwhile, if your water gun is empty, just run to the sink or faucet on the side of the house and fill her up. As long as if mommy and daddy are paying the bills, water is going to keep coming out of that magical water dispenser, also known as a silcock apparently. Unfortunately for airsoft, the availability of water outshines that of a BB.
Jesus Christ, you don't know the rules?
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. No. Big no-no! Big no!
If there's one thing I know about airsoft, it's that airsoft is crammed full of rules. Always wear eye protection. Don't climb trees. Don't shoot the ref. Keep a barrel bag on your gun in the safe zone. Don't physically fight one another.
Don't cheat. No ninja crap. Don't climb buildings. No drugs or alcohol. No kidnapping. Don't go out of bounds. No theft. Don't bring a real knife. Shoot within FPS limits.
Know your MEDs. Do not blind fire. No loud sound devices. No flip-flops. No dry firing. Control your muzzle direction. No gun lasers. No fireworks.
Motherfucker! There ain't no rules in a water fight. Just grab the nearest thing of water and splash somebody with it. Come running towards your little brother with your fist held up in a punching position and make him drop his water balloon, running away in fear. Pick up said water balloon and throw it at the back of his head while he runs away screaming. Oh, I'm sorry, did you get me wet from your super soaker? I'll just squeeze the trigger or, pump the pump thingy as well and get you wet as well. Everybody gets wet in a water fight. Remember when I said there are no rules in a water fight? Yes, that means you can go ahead and do the one thing we all know that one person will do in every water fight. Grab the hose. Yes, everyone does have their own perfectly fine water gun or plentiful quantity of water balloons, but there will always be the hose. The hose that fills those water guns, the hose that fills those water balloons. You take the hose, the game is over. No more ammo for your enemies, only fear. You cannot defeat the hose. Its unlimited power and ammo will force any enemy to drop their weapon and cower, begging for it to end. I'm not too sure if water guns are advertised for their accuracy. I think the whole point of a water gun is just to sort of spray and pray. You're not really aiming. You're sort of just trying to soak somebody from head to toe. I mean, yeah, it's a refreshing feeling, but it's nowhere near as satisfying as shooting somebody in the goggles with a BB from 200 feet away. Now, calm down. I know what you're all thinking. Hey, what about the pressure washer? Those things are pretty dang accurate. Put that thing on full blast at the highest pressure and you pretty much got a laser beam of water. Yeah, except that's like super dangerous, dude. Shame on you. How could you imagine whipping out the pressure washer during a water fight?
First rule is very simple. First one to get a stain loses.
You lose.
Kenny!
You lost.
The pressure washer is a beautiful tool every 45-year-old owning a house adores to use. Scared of heights or ladders but need to clean the exterior of your home? Hey, no problem. Just spray away to your heart's content. Enough about pressure washers though. We're talking about water fights. You thought Airsoft was messy? With what? All the BBs littered everywhere? Try cleaning up after an intense water balloon fight in the backyard. God have mercy on the poor souls who have to clean up such a horrifying crime scene of shredded latex littered and embedded inside the blades of grass. I hope you're ready for a couple hours of intense cleaning, unless you don't mind a hefty bill from the vet. The stage is set. It's time to settle this dispute once and for all. On one end, an airsofter prepares for combat, checking his mags, flipping the safety off, and waiting for the game to begin. On the other end, nothing. The game begins and the airsofter slowly moves forward into a nearby building ahead. He checks all corners and sees nobody, marching onward with an eerie feeling shadowing over the airsofter. Several minutes have passed and not even the tiniest of sounds can be heard, not a hint of the whereabouts of his water-wielding foe. Suddenly, the sounds of slapping wet feet can be heard as they violently sprint past somewhere directly behind the airsofter's position. The airsofter spins around quickly, only to see nothing. Nothing except a faint trail of water droplets going off into another direction. The airsofter decides to follow this trail, convinced he'll find his target. Minutes pass, and eventually, the trail of water ends. Confused, the airsofter looks around, feeling as if he had been tricked, for that was indeed exactly what had happened. Suddenly, from above comes into view little Timmy with a bucket of water balloons placed next to him. He lets out a childlike war scream of terror as he simultaneously digs his hands into the bucket, grabbing as many water balloons as he can carry. Confused, the airsofter attempts to raise his gun and steady his aim, only to immediately find himself dancing around an endless barrage of water balloons from the sky. The child continues to let out his screech of terror as the airsofter finds himself standing on an increasingly slippery surface. In a desperate attempt to retreat, the airsofter turns left and sprints past several rooms, ignoring to check his corners. Suddenly, before the airsofter could realize, his boot stood over top an overfilled, saggy water balloon, abandoned or strategically placed onto the floor. With an involuntary twist of the heel and a devastating slip forward, the airsofter lets loose his gun as it flies several feet in front of him. He now finds himself laying face down on the wet floor, aching. Slowly, the airsofter gets up onto his elbows and knees, only to hear a slow, wet clapping of feet behind him. His eyes widen. A gasp of fear for the unknown overtakes his composure. Slowly, the airsofter turns his head and looks behind him. Little Timmy has the most sinister grin on his face one could only dare to imagine, because in little Timmy's hands, a garden hose is held firmly within his grasp. No! It's the only thing the airsofter could manage to mutter before being completely doused with water. His gear soaked completely through. His gun, several feet in front of him, now lay deep in a pool of water. The fight is over. Little Timmy had outsmarted the airsofter, who was too worried about getting wet rather than winning the fight. Alright guys, and that settles that. Obviously. As always, let me know what you think about this super serious topic, or let me know what your favorite water fight memory is from your childhood. Mine definitely has something to do with bringing the garden hose into the kitchen. Ah, the simpler days of being a kid. Anyway, as always, I'll see you next time.